Thank you very much, everybody. It's great to see so many of you here, and we have got a huge amount to talk about. So on Monday, so the next time you see me broadcasting, Andy Burnham will be our new Prime Minister. Get ready.
This brings me to my second change. I will work to build a new politics. The country is crying out for it. We might enjoy the point scoring against others. The public don't. How can politicians point fingers when living standards are falling and politics as a whole isn't working for them? It infuriates them and makes them switch off. In Makerfield, I decided to make a break with this. I said we hadn't been good enough. I told people what I would do to fix it. You know what? People started to listen again. They gave us a fair hearing, as the great British public always do. And then another chance. But let's be honest, everybody, this is a last chance to change, and we must take it together, united together.
Westminster is currently experiencing a political shockwave unlike anything seen in decades, as the coronation of Andy Burnham signals a complete departure from the previous administration. But the newly crowned leader is already facing a blistering counterattack from the right. The political chessboard has just been completely upended. Welcome back to Britain Underneath, your premier destination for sophisticated, unfiltered analysis of the forces shaping our nation. If you want to navigate this chaotic new era without the usual mainstream bias, please take a brief moment right now to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and join our growing community of informed citizens. Your support is what keeps this channel entirely independent and thriving. Let us dive directly into the real story unfolding behind the grand promises.
And I want people to say once again that Labour are for us. I want that to just fall off people's tongues, and we can do it. We can be that party, the party that puts more power in people's hands, drives good growth in every postcode, and puts hope in every heart, that gets the country pulling together again and moves beyond the divisions of recent years. All people and all places, public and private sectors, in a new sense of unity and common cause. That's my mission as your new leader, to bring back hope. I believe in all of you, and I am confident we can do it. Thank you very much, everyone. My journey to this stage today began in earnest at Anfield in April 2009. The COP made me confront the fact that this country does not work for working class communities like the city of my birth. In fact, it's worse. It turned its back on them. Political power was used viciously against them to protect vested interests. Economic power cruelly stripped with the deindustrialization of the 1980s, as it was against so many places up and down the land. And let us never forget, these are the very same places that built this labour movement, this trade union movement where we are today, Paul. Those are the places, but they were the places that were done down. This labour movement, the trade union movement, was forged in the steelworks and ironworks of Sheffield, Scunthorpe, Port Talbot and Teesside, in the coalfields of South Wales, Central Scotland, Nottinghamshire, Derbyshire, Yorkshire and Lancashire, in the mills across the Pennines, west and east, in the shipyards on the Clyde and on the Tyne, and in the dockyards of Liverpool and here in London. The people of these proud places made Labour. But we have to ask ourselves, just as I had to ask myself at Anfield that day, have we been good enough for them? Change starts with honesty. We must recognise that this generation of politicians, myself included, have failed to challenge a political culture and an economic model that simply doesn't work well enough for ordinary people. 4 decades of the neoliberalism that began in the 1980s have not been kind to the places that built our party, nor to the communities across the UK in rural and coastal areas. So we pledge today to them to be better.
Andy Burnham took to the stage to deliver his highly anticipated first major address as leader, proclaiming that this moment represents the most significant change in British politics for 40 years. He unashamedly declared war on the economic legacy of the 1980s, pointing the finger directly at past privatisation and centralised power for draining the lifeblood out of local communities. His vision is bold, charismatic, and distinctively traditional, promising an era of state utility control, extensive localised power, and an ambitious plan to completely overhaul the social care system. It was a performance designed to bring back hope and project an image of a unified, formidable team ready to govern. But beneath the smooth delivery and the captivating rhetoric, serious questions remain about what this actually means for the country. To truly understand the shifting tide, we must take a deep breath, look past the headlines, and stay informed on the genuine data. The reality is that while the new leader promises to be pro-business, his economic blueprint relies heavily on state intervention and regional devolution that critics argue could lead to layers of unnecessary local bureaucracy. Furthermore, his rise to power has bypassed a traditional general election, leaving a notable portion of the electorate feeling disconnected from this massive constitutional transition. The response from the opposition was instantaneous and characteristically sharp. Nigel Farage wasted absolutely no time in dismantling the grand narrative of the speech, stepping forward to deliver a characteristically biting assessment. Farage pointed out that for all the lofty rhetoric about local community control and a new politics, the public is left with massive ambiguity on the issues that matter most to working people, specifically the staggering national debt, the rising welfare bill, and the pressing challenge of secure borders.
You said on stage as well, you watched his victory speech earlier. I'd be keen to hear what your reaction was to that as well. You said as well that we don't really know what he's going to be like as leader. But if I was to ask you to use your imagination, what kind of a Prime Minister do you think he'll be?
Lots of platitudes, lots of warm words, but very little positive action that will do anything to turn around the deep crises that this country is in. And I really mean, look, I wish him well. I wish him well. You know, if he suddenly announces that he's going to, leave the ECHR and start drilling in the north, if he does all those things, I'll be delighted. I just don't see it.
Well, here we go, folks. Yes, it's the end of gloom and doom because Keir Starmer is finally going to go. Yes, the man that gave us 17 U-turns. But now, don't we deserve a leader that can actually lead, that doesn't divide the country but unites the country, a leader that will put its people first and its country first? That's why I'm pleading that we need our very own Winston Churchill. But sadly, folks, we're not getting that. No, we're not. We're getting a Buddy Holly lookalike that's going to parachute into number 10, who looks like the man from Milk Tray. But sadly, he's not holding chocolates because he hasn't got anything. He's no mandate, he's got no idea, he's got no plan. I'm saying this country deserves better. Yes, he was the mayor of Manchester. He had a budget of £3 billion. Now, as Prime Minister, he's going to have to juggle a budget of 1.4 trillion. I'm afraid his back record just doesn't sustain being Prime Minister. He had been in the Cabinet 3 times before, but he was less than average. And I say this country deserves better. In the last 10 years, we've had 6 Prime Ministers, all mediocre. Don't we deserve better? We need a Winston Churchill. Fight them on the beaches, not welcome them on the beaches. I'm afraid don't raise your glass at Andy Burnham's coronation because all you're getting is a Jeremy Corbyn in Birkenstocks.
The reform leader argued that reviving the economic philosophies of decades past is a recipe for stagnation rather than dynamic wealth creation, warning that high taxation and regulatory burdens will simply drive away the entrepreneurial class that the country desperately needs to prosper. This clash sets the stage for a monumental battle over the very identity of our nation, pitting a localized state vision against a populist free market alternative. It is an incredibly sophisticated game of political chess, and the stakes have never been higher for the British public. Please consider subscribing to Britain right now, as your subscription truly helps the channel expand and continue delivering this caliber of mature, objective analysis. Thank you for watching until the very end. Make sure to return for our upcoming videos as we closely track every move in this fast-moving transition. Let us know your thoughts below, and we will see you very soon.